So out having a beautiful picnic with our friends, the cows, here in Crackenback. Well, let's call it Jindabyne because I don't even like saying the word Crackenback. It just sounds a bit weird. So, Yvonne, you completed La Tap AU yesterday, full course. Total of 100 and... How many Ks did you do yesterday?
Well, it was a little bit elongated because I rode to the start and I rode back from the finish. So it ended up being 170 Ks.
170 Ks. How much of that was on the flat?
There was no flat.
There was no flats, so it's up or down. Did you get the total elevation?
Yeah, it was 3.5, I think, something like that. 3,500.
So it's what, 3,500 elevation? Okay.
Yeah, it was up or down.
up or down. Yeah,
it was up or down.
Yeah, so a true Tour de France. So look, I awoke to the sound of 1,000 cars going past. We were staying on, Jindabyne's down here, the start is 5Ks that way.
Yeah.
What surprised me in the race manual, they said do not ride your bike to the start. You are not allowed to ride your bike to the start of a bike event.
I actually missed that, so I was breaking the rules.
Yeah. So there's just thousands and thousands and thousands of cars going past. That was an interesting one. I guess teething issues, for day, or the first time they've held this event here in Australia.
If that was the only teething issue that I noticed, I'm pretty happy with that.
But the people were stuck in traffic on the way there. Cycling Central put up a shot saying, oh, it's true Tour de France style here, we're stuck in traffic. So the anxiety that'll cause a lot of people maybe doing their first event or first non-competitive event. Something they need to address for next year, I think. I'd rather have it start in town, in Jindabyne, where everyone's pretty much staying anyway, or has a park. They can roll their bikes down. It takes the logistics of getting your car out. And for the last 12 Ks home from the snow train station at the end here to town, that can be even a supported part of the ride with just a chill out part though. You know, spin the legs down. It's all downhill. So I think that's just one thing I noticed as well. It was kind of a bit weird. Anyhow, so tell us about your day. Are you the start gate dramas? I was filming a few people rolling through the very start of the race, but there was quite a few. It wasn't just one big bunch. So was there a few people who missed the start?
It went through in waves, so they let us off 1,000 at a time, and then had cars in between each of the bunches. As we rolled out, it was all pretty cruisy until they didn't have the starting chip, where they initiate the start of the race for the riders. They didn't have the starting chip across the whole road. They only put it on half the road, so that as the bunch, enveloped the whole road to take up the space, there were people kind of weaving around and missing the start and almost causing accidents because of the timing chip was only on half the road with no real indication as well of what was going on.
Okay, so everyone rolled out and it was uphill straight away and then downhill flat out.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I got the still shot motion or the stop lapse, time gap, whatever you call it. Time lapse.
Fast motion
that I put up on the channel yesterday. That looked pretty cool. One interesting comment, so you had people, like thousands of people going past in a short space of time because it looks kind of cool, I thought. One comment was, what happened? Was it a conversion error with your video? No one's got time to sit here and watch half an hour of riders go past in real time, so I sped it up and I think it looked kind of cool. I missed you going past, Vom. I'll have to slow it down somewhere and try and find you in the bunch.
I don't even recall passing this place. I remember further down the road where there's a dinner spot that we went to the other night. I went, oh, that means we've already passed. We're staying. Yeah,
it's pretty hectic in the bunch going that quick. Yeah, and a lot of people on the top tubes pulling a froomy in the bunch. Required. That's why I had the camera out because I thought, well, if they're going to go head first into the person in front of them, I want to get it on camera. But no, everyone was fine.
Yes.
A few deers on course first up as well.
We've got a bit of wildlife here in Australia.
And the wombat sign, someone also asked on the stop motion or the time-lapse video, what's that animal with a little tail and a little roundy type rat thing? It's a wombat. They're big, they can get up to probably this tall and this long, and they're rock solid. They're made of pure wombat, nothing else. So if you hit them in the car, that's bad. Hit them on the bike, let's not go there. No wombats seen though, they're pretty shy animals.
Nocturnal generally.
Yeah.
So there were a few deer on course, a few kangaroos.
And a Froome dog.
Yeah. I saw Froomey at the start line. He was weaving his way through the pack to get a few selfies with people. Well, people were getting selfies with him. I suppose that's more the case.
Yeah. There's quite a few angles of Froomey that have been taken, and people are like, is he on the pies?
Yeah.
I guess it's off season. The season is just starting for him.
He can't stay that lean all year. That's just like a known fact.
Well, I said, yes, he's human.
Yeah.
Rather than some alien-looking being, which we see leading up to Dauphiné and into the Tour, where they're just so skinny. But I guess it's the proportion size in the guy as well. He's super tall and like super lanky. So if he puts on probably 1 kilo...
he just looked normal. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first 100 Ks, food strategy was good, same as all the other rides?
Yes, had a good breakfast. And then...
I got it!
Horsefly.
Got it! Yep, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, every half hour I was just munching on something. Had 2 pocket bananas, they came in handy. But I think at the end of the day, the food stops here were some of the best ones that I've ever seen at some events. So there were a couple of ones that were just like water and Gatorade and, some kind of drink mix and bananas. But then there was like at the 100K mark, it was this buffet. It was beautiful. They had soda water, they had lemonade, they had orange slices.
Look, it was probably pretty ordinary, but at that time, I know, when you're carb depleted, everything looks good. Even water tastes good.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. But they had a full buffet there. And the next stop that was amazing was right at the bottom of the final climb.
Okay.
So there they had like potato chips and the same kind of things.
You mentioned the chips on a little clip I'll play in a sec. So tell me about the nasty hill. So there's a nasty hill about 100 k's in or 95 k's in. I even forget the name of the climb.
Balocca.
A lot of people called it other words that I won't use. Balocca climb, right.
Balocca.
So that was pretty nasty. That really strung the bunches out or had people sort of begging for mercy.
Yeah, I mean things were pretty strung out by then anyway because it was a rolling into there, rolling terrain. Can't even get words out. So into that rolling terrain, and then we had the final rest stop before going up the climb. So people split up there to have some nutrition as well. So when you hit the bottom, it is literally just a wall that kicks up. It must top out at around 20%, but it says it's only 15 or so.
That's the average for the lot.
For that first section, I think it says 15, but it does peak out. So, when my bunch went through, there was still a good handful of people walking that first little section. Then it flattened out a little bit to maybe a 10% or 7% through the middle, and then at the end it kicked right up again.
So I was following you on Strava. No, sorry, not Strava Beacon because we didn't have that loaded. I was following you on Find My Friends on the Apple on the iPhone. Fun and I both have Find My Friends on. So I tried to time when you'd be coming into town, and I was either going to drop down to the T intersection before you started the 30k climb up around the back here to say hello, are you okay, or do you want to come home from there? But as I was filming the time lapse, I found someone's race number. So I thought, I'll put it on the bike, and that'll be my ticket onto the course, because I didn't want to cause any stir and get kicked off the course for being a non-authorised rider on the course. That bird's having a bit of fun. So grabbed the race number, went down to the T intersection, saw Froomey go past before I even had the camera out, and then you came through. So I thought, I'll jump on course. So I jumped in the bunch, and then had a chat to you about where you were and where you were at, and you wanted some company for the rest of the ride. Yeah,
it was great, just because it was such a long day. I think at the end of the day, 'cause with all the stops, I stopped at every feed station after 100 k's.
Yep.
Just because it was so hot, you needed a bottle of water every single time.
Yep.
And that mental company of just having a chat, because I wasn't riding with anyone, I wasn't in a team.
Having a friendly wheel to stay on as well. We know how each other operates.
Yeah.
You know that I'm not going to sort of go sideways or fly backwards or anything like that. Standing up out of the saddle and the bike shooting backwards. Cool. So I Sherpa'd you through the climbs. Yeah. That was a bit of fun. We got a bit of footage of that. Hey. So we've joined Von on her ride. Last 20 k's.
Yep. Last bit to go.
Now technically I didn't enter, but thanks to Rob Neal, who lost his number out where I was recording everyone this morning. Rob, buddy, I'm going to set a comm time for you, mate.
So, the day's not lost.
The day's not lost? I'll owe Rob Neal a coffee.
Yes.
For,
come to redeem it.
I was actually going to, truth be told, I was actually going to grab the number early this morning and do the whole route. Trying to chase Rob down, asking everyone, who's Rob? Who's Rob? I got Rob's number. And do the whole course. But I'm in no state for that. I was actually coughing my lungs up all last night. Ended up sleeping in the car outside so these guys can get a good sleep. So, do you still get a good sleep, Von?
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So, Subaru, thanks for the accommodation last night. It's a bit hard in the back, but anyway, had a bit of a sleep in this morning. Got some great footage that I've already uploaded about thousands and thousands of riders just flying past. And
I gotta say, the food stops here have been exceptional. Really, really good. That last one's had chips.
Chips? What,
Okay.
chips and gravy or just...
No. Salty potato chips.
So we're on the final climb now. You can probably see behind me. I'll just swerve and cut a few people off just to show everyone who's coming. Anyway, we'll tick it up to the finish. Good day out.
There was a few downward sections where I turned the camera on. It was on my bike this time around.
Put the GoPro on Von's bike for the day.
That was a new experience for me using the GoPro, which
So
was pretty
handy.
good.
I wasn't even going to do a vlog, blog, post, YouTube. I don't even know what to call this thing nowadays. Of this, but Von got such good footage that this is what I'm going to do. I'll chop it in for this whole video today, and like the start. And coming over the bridge, just pulling turns in the bunch, some guy stopping for a pee. We got your race number, buddy. Good job. I found it even tough myself. Look, as I've just mentioned in the video before, I sort of spent the afternoon or the evening coughing my lungs up. So I slept in the car the night, so you guys could have a good night's sleep. Still getting over this travel flu. But I had a good ride.
It was beautiful from the dam section in at Jindabyne, weaving its way up Mount Kosciuszko Road to Perisher. Perisher Ski Village. I want to go back and ski this place.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It looks amazing.
So a few observations on the climb on the way up. We spotted people supporting the riders, so the locals coming out. There's some kids on the side of the road. I've shot sideways, high five kids, and they jump out of their chair and goes high fives.
Yeah.
Just, they were sitting there all day in the heat supporting the riders, which was sort of really cool to see the locals coming out, and hopefully all the people going past will inspire them to jump on next time round.
Well, they were supporting it all the way around the courses, in and around the little towns, even a couple of farm street intersections. They were out there waving and ringing bells.
Oh, careful! You'll call the cows over. Not again.
Milking.
So other things spotted, a lot of dead animals, a lot of dead cars. It's pretty harsh land out here.
Yeah.
It can get really hot and really cold, so there's a few dead animals, and you've got to really hold your breath at the right time going past those. Some guy throwing up his guts after he had a big drink of water.
Yeah, that was
here's a tip. If you're going to drink on a hot day, you'll need to drink a lot. Drink a lot, but drink small and often rather than all in one big gulp. We'd stopped at a water station and he was obviously thirsty. The reaction when you've got water there, guzzle down a huge gutful of water, put it back on your bike, fill your bottle up and go. This guy did exactly that, and then
just projectile vomit.
But it was clear, so it was okay. You could see through it. You didn't have to ride really much around it. But he was going to town on that, and I'm like, "Hey, Von, got the camera on?" She's like, "No."
I was in the box.
Damn it. A lot of dropped gels on the road too. That's a little bit disappointing. You can't look. You don't expect that, but you see that a lot from like race events where people are like, "I'm a pro." Down the gel, chuck it on the ground. Don't do that. Chuck it in your jersey pocket. So I picked up a few on the way. And Von spotted one with, and even a full one. What was it? Custard and rhubarb, my favourite.
Rhubarb and custard.
Rhubarb and custard, my favourite. So I picked it up and like, oh, hang on, it's about 45 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, hot custard.
Hot custard. We weren't going to drink it, so had a bit of fun with that. So into the finish. One of the locals we know here, Jeffrey Stubbs, met him over at Tour Down Under. He is soigneur extraordinaire.
Oh,
this guy is...
If you need a soigneur, this guy is the man. Get onto him.
You know when you meet someone who's got so much energy, you're like, I'm suspicious. How have you got so much energy? So when I first met Jeffrey, I'm like, damn, you've got a lot of energy. And he'll talk a lot and tell you about his travels and tell you about this. But as I've learnt to, we've added him on Facebook, learned to know, got to know him a lot more. And he is a legend. I went over to see him at the Rego desk. He's on the Rego desk. He's on the megaphones everywhere. He's just like helping out because this is his hometown. And as we rode into the finish, so we're a few hundred k's from home, not a lot of people we know.
No.
We get a Vaughn's finish, yeah, good job, Vaughn. And I'll play that video now.
Welcome to some mountain.
So Von grabs her medal, and then he knew that I didn't have an entry as well. And he's like, and Shane snuck in for the day. And I'm like, they're trying to hand me a medal. I'm only here to take Von the last couple of Ks to make sure she gets home, make sure Von's okay. So yeah, on the way up, I didn't take any of the foods, or I stopped for the water.
Yeah, water's okay.
But yeah, I wasn't sort of taking anything away from the event or causing any dramas, trying to be responsible. Because, yeah, I know, I've said it before, you get people doing, when they sort of barge into a fondo and become part of it when you haven't paid.
Yeah, or try and
influence results.
Change the outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. So I was there to help Von. Von wasn't in a competitive spot for the women's or anything like that. You just wanted to get through the day, and I'm like,
I just wanted to see this area.
I know you're going to be suffering, so no, it was good to be able to get up there and support you. And everyone was just so friendly. Okay, now, so on to the finish. The finish was pretty cool. We had all the bags lined up. The logistics of the finish was fantastic. Everyone had put bags in the train at the start. So the start line was...
Big trailer, yeah.
Yeah, a start line was a train line through a big hill to the finish, up the hill. And everyone loaded their stuff onto there. And then up at the finish, they were lined up in numbers, and the volunteers were there like, what's your number? I'll get it. They raced up the line, grabbed your bag and handed your bag, which is so important. If you haven't got a car to go to or a jumper to put on or something, to have that there, to have food and other clothes to change into. Yeah,
I put a layer on. I had a protein bar in my little bag as well, so that I could have something straight away.
Yeah, that was cool. So we jumped on the train. Well, first of all, I found donuts.
Yes.
We had donuts. And then we jumped on the train, and then coming home, there was more hills on the way home. I thought we were done. 5Ks, 5K, you think, yeah, easy done, just tick it over.
5Ks, no worries. No, it was hills. So, needless to say, I was a bit delirious by the time we got back.
Yeah, well, we're flying down this hill. I'm like, yeah, here's our turn, Von, stop. Oh, shit, it's another K down the road. Even I was delirious. I'd done about 52 Ks that day, but no, it was good. Bit of hand of guiding every now and then where you needed it.
Oh, it was just mental fatigue.
Yeah, if you've got hand of God, for those who don't know, is if you're riding behind someone, you can just put your hand on their back and just sort of push them along. You'll see the pros do it if someone's got a puncture or no chain on their bike. And it's a bit like a Madison thing as well. You grab the center I grab the center of my handlebar so it sort of stabilises the bike, forward a bit on the saddle, and I just ride along with my hand out. And it just takes a little bit. It's like such a little bit of a push, and it gives you the mental break of, thank Christ, that's not as hard. My watts probably went up 70, 80, maybe 100 watts for those little short sections, but it's also the shove at the end. If you ever, you just sort of push and I go flying backwards, it's safe because there's no one else around. And it just gives you that mental edge. I've had a hand of God a few times in a race where someone's chopped back from sort of other grades or something, and they're like, I've got nothing to hear, take my energy. So
that's nice.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a teamwork type thing. But no, all good. So we're home safe and sound at the end. So overall impressions of the event, Von?
I have to say I felt that it was really well organised. The registration process was perhaps the most complicated I've ever had to enter.
Really?
Because there were 2 phases around doing the ASO entry and then the actual event entry. So I've never had to do anything like that. That made it a little bit more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of lining up at the start gate, they were very clear. There was plenty of space.
Yep.
That was fine. Logistics around getting here was pretty good because with the Rafa Cycle Club, there was a group that had been organised to be up here as well. So we had people that knew the area, that had meet points. We had a friendly face from that perspective. The actual ride itself was very clearly marked. There were no discrepancies, you couldn't get lost. There was absolutely no way. And it was fully closed course. So for 170 Ks, whatever, or your 120 if you're doing the shorter one, it was completely safe from that perspective. It was not a technical course. It was just challenging in terms of the terrain.
Yeah.
And then the finish areas and the event village was nice, clean and open, accessible.
What I saw Well, first of all, for me, reflections on the event, yeah, really well organised. I think the cars need to be sorted out, or the logistics, they need to start in town. I know as a first-time racer, the last thing you want to do is worry about anything that's not related to your bike. Getting there, you don't need to worry about getting there. It's hard enough and nervous enough for people to pin a number on, or pin an event number on, I guess you'd call it. So I think they just need to make it really smooth in that respect, because you don't want that anxiety needs to be managed very carefully. They did say get out here really early at 5 a.m, but they didn't sort of put the reasoning behind why, because there's going to be traffic jams.
There was going to be traffic jams, and there's no shoulder really to ride on out there.
Commentary on the Lama tight ass thing, because everyone knows I'm a tight ass. The value for money, 340 entry, I think it was $340 Australian. That's why I didn't put my entry in. I'll say it straight out, I don't see the value for that. That's twice the entry price to Disneyland for a day. And this is just...
This was not Disneyland for me.
No.
I had a few roller coaster sections that were pretty good.
I mean, the numbers obviously, I'm in the minority because people are entering this thing, and I had thousands and thousands of people go past, and they were supplied with a great environment. But for me, I ride these roads any day. Today, I'll be out there doing the same course, same roads and things, all for free. So as a training cyclist, and for my cycling, but it's just different. I guess it's different to everyone. But the entry fee, that's just ludicrous, to be brutally honest. But I'm not going to go too hard on it. It's not a blocker. I'm in the minority, as I said. What I saw though with the Rafa stuff, I'm not a member of Rafa. Got their socks on today though, because they were the only clean ones I had. I now start to get it. People look at the Rafa Cycling Club and go, a bit poncy, a bit prestigious, rah-rah. Fair enough, it can be that, but it also, what I've seen with, staying with people who are in the Rafa Cycling Club, it provides them with a community that is of the same league as they're in. Look, I'm not here to race, but I need my own people. I need a tribe to hang out with.
Yeah.
And Rafa, what they provide in an accompaniment to the event, because it's not a Rafa event, but they came here with their stall that you could go to and get free coffees, and you got a musette, you got all these.
They get a little hat.
They just sort of add a little bit to the top. So if you're looking for a premium experience, you do something like the Soigneur, Daniel Strauss and Co.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they'll do something like that. But if you want to be
involved,
end
to end.
Yeah, but if you want to be involved in a community-led event with that, I guess,
bit of service on top.
Yeah, a little bit of value out on the top. I get it now. So I understand where Rafa's coming from with that, and I think that's brilliant. I've turned around probably. I was going to say turned around 360 degrees on that. Probably 180, maybe 270, because I'm still not a member. But I get it, and I really appreciate that. I saw it last year at Tour Down Under, where they have the pop-up store.
Yeah, they have the pop-up store, so you can go to and from on the different rides.
But it's not
every day, and then come back to a base and.
But it's not about the store, because again, the only Rafa stuff I wear is what Von's purchased for me. So again, this is not an ad for Rafa, but I get it that they're providing a base for people to get coffee. That's what we use it for. There's coffee and food and somewhere to go. So again, for the Tour Down Under, if you're heading over to Tour Down Under, check out the Rafa store. They had a good one tucked away in a nice air-conditioned room last time.
It'll be the same this year.
Adelaide was 40 degrees plus. Brutal.
And secure bike parking. It's off street.
And they have big fan. They had a big fan with a mister. I'd walk in there and just spread eagle in front of this mister and just get it was good.
Cooled down.
So look, again, not an advertisement, but check out Rafa Cycling Club. I think I get what they provide, and I'm a non-member. I'm not looking to be a member. I'm a +1, like at the Qantas Club, because I'm a tight ass.
Yeah, and I think it's also that worldwide community too, so that I can be up in Sydney for work and have a group to train with. And there's no way I would have done as well as I did yesterday without that additional training and the long rides. So
so it's been a long all the way. It's an accumulative training load, I guess, that has allowed you to do this. There's a lot of people in a lot of the hurt box. I went through last night. Oh, by the way, on the stats, people, there's about 2,000 people who had uploaded their ride to Strava.
Okay.
So out of about 3,500 people, this is not a Strava event.
No.
But if you had 50% of people using your service for an event, damn.
That's pretty good.
I want a business like that.
So that wouldn't necessarily all be premium members.
No, correct. They could be free members, they could be anything. But there were 2,000 people who'd already... There'll be even more, I'll check later on. But to have half people upload that night already, Strava, bang. I mean, it's the Xerox of photocopiers, it's the Kleenex of tissues. Strava is where do you put your data of cycling?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's pretty cool. And going through the ride names was hilarious. So event done and dusted. Back to Sydney for a week, I think. Then we may be back to Melbourne, and then we're on to Festi 500 and things like that. So I think Von's going to kick my ass when it comes to getting the 500 Ks in between Christmas Eve through to New Year's Day.
It's a team effort, Shane.
Team effort, okay. If you can Sherpa me for that, that'd be great, Ron.
Yeah, no worries.
So anyway,
you can be my drink Sherpa.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for having a chat.
No worries.
This has sort of turned into a Llama Live. We'll put up as a Llama Daily, but we'll just tag it as Let's Hap. I wasn't even going to do one, but it was all the video that Von got from the front of the bike with this camera here.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
We'll turn it into something which is pretty cool. So thanks for coming along. Thanks, Von. Thanks, cows. And RIP, Little Fly.